where we highlight the sentence of the week in media that changed the world. I'm your host, Renetta Gunn-Stevens, CEO of Sophisticated Press.
And I'm your co-host, Kiara Stevens, aka Magnificently Key. Each week we bring to you the sentence that broke the internet and introduce the conversations needed to move forward as a culture.
Let's get it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to season 2 of the Sophisticated Sentences podcast. I'm your host, Renetta Gunn-Stevens.
And I'm your co-host, Magnificently Key.
And we are so excited to welcome you to season 2. We have a wonderful guest to kick off our season 2 season, and she is none other than Madison McIntyre. She's a young author. Woo woo! And I'm going to give you Madison's bio before we bring her to the floor. Madison is the author of Madison's World book series, addressing social issues, impacting her peers, and preventing bullying. And at the age of 8, Madison released her first book in the series. Now, I'm going to save the title so Madison can tell us all about her titles. But she is now 13 years old, and she has 3 books. And she is going to tell us all about her writing process and how she was able to show that age ain't nothing but a number when it comes to being successful. Everyone, please welcome Madison McIntyre.
Hi.
Hi, Madison. How are you today?
I'm good.
That is wonderful. Your hair is beautiful.
Thank you.
Definitely curls popping.
Yes. So tell us, Madison, tell us about yourself. Who is Madison McIntyre?
Well, I'm the author of Madison's World book series, like you said, and I basically just use my books and my business to shine light on things that don't get enough light in the world, such as the social issues of homelessness and bullying.
Yes. Now let's just go back because Madison said her books and her business. Did you hear that, Magnificently Key?
Books and the business, because you know what we believe.
Yes, every business should have a book, and every book is a business. So at 13, Madison is already business minded and understand the business of books. Now tell us, what made you want to write books?
Well, I've always had a passion for writing since I was very young. Like I would like to write grocery lists. I would just like to write little notes and stuff. So I've always had a passion for writing.
Mhm.
But I've had a lot of experiences in school with bullying. And as I got older, I realized that it was bigger than just me or bigger than my school or bigger than my state. It was a worldwide issue. So I wanted to take it as a chance to make it or to shine light on it.
Yeah, I love that. So you said, you changed your why because you could have just kind of just kept those social issues to yourself as you overcame them, but you decided to help others and turn that into writing.
Yes.
Amazing. And when you're writing, does it energize you or do it exhaust you?
Depending on what I'm writing on. So like my third book, when I wrote the journal, it was very energizing. I was able to kind of just write my thoughts out. But the first and second book, they were a little bit exhausting because they bring back like emotions from whatever you're writing about in that situation.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you mentioned that it's a little bit of both. So I didn't say the titles of your three books because I wanted you to provide the title. So can you tell us the title of your 3 books?
So my first book is called A Lesson in Friendship. My second book is called Bad Hair Day, Daddy to the Rescue. And then my third book is How to Write Your Book in 90 Days.
Wow. So Bad Hair Daddy to the Rescue. That's your second book, huh? Wow.
Yes.
Amazing. I think I'm sure that's a good book. I'm going to order that book because, dads are so important.
Mm-hmm.
How did your dad feel about it when you incorporated his character or just that role into your books?
My dad, he was super excited about it because when I wrote my first book, a lot of my family members were like, I'm not in the book. So when I wrote the second book, I made sure that I included some of the people that have kind of helped me from my childhood and shaped me into the person that I am now.
Absolutely. Amazing. Magnificently Key, have any questions for Madison?
I think we're so similar because, Mom, do you remember when I used to always make a list and have like a schedule of like how my day would go? So I would come home and be like, all right, from this time I'm gonna do homework, from this time I'm gonna clean, and I would have everything in a list. So that's like that hit home for me.
Yeah.
Definitely. I love how you said that you wanted to tackle the issue of like bullying and you saw that it was like a worldwide issue. And that's just like so major on your part to be so young and to notice that and to
Mhm.
think that, like, hey, this is something that I myself, Madison, should take on and try to change. So I think that's like really great. And since you did start so young, at 8 years old, you wrote your first book. If there was like anything you can tell your younger self, what would it be? Like your younger writing self, what would it be?
Something I would tell my younger writing self is to keep pushing and not really think about what others have to say because everyone's not gonna like what you do, but it can help somebody. Even if one person doesn't like it, another person may love it, and it could have helped that person.
Right. I love that. I love that. And I know that you have experience now under your belt with 3 books being published. So how has like your process changed from your first book to like now your third book?
Yes, so I had a writing coach. So from my first book, I would kind of just write down some ideas, and my writing coach would kind of be able to bring them to life and like make them into bigger paragraphs and into a book completely. But now, as I started writing my second and third book, I was kind of able to outline like the chapters of what I kind of wanted them to look like, and I was just able to write and express my feelings more as I got to my second and third book.
I love that. I love how you said that you got yourself a writing coach. That shows that you're willing to take the initiative to like invest in yourself and
Yes.
invest in your personal development. So that's like awesome. So that brings me to kind of my next question of like what did you do with your profits from your book sales?
Okay, so half of my profits have always gone back into my business. So I always like
Okay.
to whatever I make, I like to put back in my business so I'm able to create bigger and better things for Madison's World. But the biggest purchase that I made was I think a Michael Kors purse after I had
Okay.
saved, after I saved for like 3 years. So after my
Wow,
second
I love
book.
that. Well, congratulations. I'm a purse girl myself, so I know how it feels. My mom bought me my first Michael Kors. I definitely knows how it feels when you get that first Michael Kors.
Yes.
Absolutely. We love Michael Kors here. So I want to go back to how you said that sometimes you feel exhausted and sometimes you're energized. It will pull out those emotions. And what I've noticed too is that sometimes when people feel that exhaustion, they'll just stop and they'll sometimes call it writer's block, or they'll just be like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just not in the mood for writing. What motivated you to keep going over the exhaustion?
So I know that, like I said, before, it could help somebody. So I really wanted to be that helping hand for somebody because not everybody has that within their family or within their like their friendships. So I knew that if I were to continue writing, that it would be able to help someone. So that was my motivation to continue writing even after I got exhausted. Or sometimes I would even just stop from that one writing session and I would have to start another one later on once I've kind of gotten over those emotions.
Awesome. Now let me just ask you something. This is about the sound because I'm hearing an echo and I'm trying to see if it's it on my end or do you have someone in the back that's watching the live or listening? Because I'm just trying to see where the echo is coming
It's
from.
probably me.
It's
No,
probably
there's one in the back.
okay. So it's okay. So we'll fix that on the end before we post it to iTunes, and we'll make sure that it's a clear sound. Okay, awesome. So we with sophisticated synthesis and sophisticated press is our parent company that is presenting sophisticated synthesis podcast. We always like to bring in that motivating side where we say, okay, what's going on in the media that changed the world?
Mhm.
That we can really add a book to. And your book really aligns with what's going on in the media because right now there was a 14-year-old Naya. I don't know if you heard about her, but
Mhm.
she was being bullied by some classmates who told her to commit suicide and they just were making fun of her. And what happened is now everyone on social media, they even raised a GoFundMe for her. She's raised over $100,000. And I wanted to know, like, if you could tell Naya something, she's a dark-skinned African-American 14-year-old girl who's being bullied. If you can tell her something positive, what would you say to Naya?
Um, I would tell her just to believe in herself because although we have a lot of influences around us, I think that what we believe and what or how our act or I believe that we should always stay encouraged because although we have so many things around us and so many things that influence us around us, we still have to stay motivated on the inside. And if we have that self motivation, then a lot of those outside influences won't really be able to attack what we already have established.
Absolutely. I love that. And then if you could say something to the bullies, right? Just like around the world, if you could tell them like how much they are hurting people or just, give them some type of positive advice to stop bullying, what would you say to the bullying?
I would want them to reflect on what's going on in their life that is causing them to want to bully other people or want other people to feel bad about themselves. Just reflect on your life. What are you doing that's wrong? Or what have someone else done to you that have made you feel some type of way? And just reflect on how you're making other people feel when you bully them or when you call them names.
Yeah, I love that. And
Mhm.
so let me ask you this. With writing three books, what has been the most difficult part of writing three books by 13? Like that's some adults haven't even completed that task.
Right.
And what has been the most difficult part of doing that?
The most difficult part would be illustrating and making sure that my illustrations don't tell a completely different story than the words that are on the page next to it. And
Yeah.
just being able to have an illustrator that's able to bring the words to life and not
Mhm.
create a totally different story than the words that I already have.
Absolutely. I love that. As a publisher, the illustrations are so key and they do have to sink in with the word, the storytelling. And so I think that's amazing just to hear your responses. Let me know that you are very hands-on the process and the project. And I just know that you are just going to be so successful in life because you are just a bundle of genius and a bundle of fresh air
Mhm.
to see that, like I said, that you're so involved, and I know that I work with your mom, sure Miss Shakika, and she is just amazing as well. And so I'm not surprised that her daughter is a genius because she's definitely a genius as well. And so, on an average, how long does it take you to write a book?
On an average, about 90 days, just because of like all the due dates that you have to have. It takes roughly 90 days to about 3 months for you to complete your book from the rough drafts to the illustrations to the publishing and all that stuff.
Yeah, because you have that book that says how to publish a book in 90 days, and it's so simple that a 8-year-old did it. And I think that parents, if you're listening in, make sure that you get that book, because what I love about our season that we're in here at Sophisticated Press, which is our parent company again, we have a lot of young authors. Our youngest author is
Mhm.
5. Um, and it's just like, here is the proof in the pudding that you can be 8, you can be 5, you can be a young child and still publish your book. And so if someone wants to support you and get that book in the hands of their little ones, where can we follow you and support you on social media?
So I have my website, which is madisontheauthor.com, and then I have my Facebook and Instagram are the same, which is also Madison the Author. And then I also have a YouTube channel coming.
Hey, you
Oh,
also.
coming soon.
I know. So Madison the author, I love that she has the brand consistency. You can find that on Facebook and also on Instagram. And I want you to look out for her YouTube channel. And can you say your website one more time for me?
It's madisontheauthor.com.
And madisontheauthor.com. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out on a school night to definitely do this podcast feature. Thank you that you shared that this is your first podcast.
Yes.
Well, this is definitely not going to be your last, because you, my darling, are just such a success, and I just wish you the best. And I just hope that everyone, when they see this either on YouTube or they visit our iTunes station, that they will be inspired by your greatness. And thank you for the opportunity to interview you today.
Thank you.
You are so welcome.
Oh,
And that is our first episode of season 2. And thank you for tuning in to Sophisticated Sentences Podcast.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Sophisticated
Sentences podcast.
Make sure to visit our website at sophisticatedsentences.com,
where you can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS
so
feed,
you'll never miss a show.
While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you simply tell a friend about the show, that will be awesome as well. If you like this show, you may want to check us out on social media. Our handle is Sophisticated Sentences on all platforms.
Our hosts,
Renetta Gunn Stevens, and co-host Kiara Stevens, are available for self-publishing consultations and speaking engagements. Email us at info@renettagunstevens.com.